name is Alvarino. I'm from International Sharing School, Madeira. I'm 1P5. And this is my project. My personal project is to create a guide explaining how to create a game on Unity, a 2D game, and I hope you enjoy it. Hello. Today I'm going to teach you how to download Unity so you can create your 2D game. So first you have to search Unity download, then you press this link, and then you have to accept the terms, and then download Unity. After download, you just have to open it, allow access on your computer, agree to the terms again, install it. And then finish. Now it's gonna run Unity. To allow the access again. When you get to this page, you have to sign in, but I already have my account signed in, so I don't have to do it. Just have to put your email and your password and your name, so you can start creating your projects. So after you sign in, you have to click new, so you can create a new project, and then you choose a 2D one because what we'll be working on, and then choose a name, and then create. So now it's downloading all the tools and resources you will need to create your own game, and I will be back after I download it. So this is what it looks like when you open it. The first thing you should do is to go to the asset store and search for assets. The one I will be using is the Sunny one, Sunny Land. See, I already purchased it, it's free. So you can just import into your project, just press import, then choose everything and import. Now it's imported into your project. Just have to wait till it's downloaded. And now we have the Sunnyland here. So what is the asset? So in the asset you have all the sprites, which are the characters that you can use. As you can see, there are characters, frogs, and your own character, the player. There's also the scene, so you can choose from this scene. So with this, you can already start creating your own projects. After you download it, you just have to create files so you can draw your scene. It will be easier to go through. After doing that, go to layers. That will help you later. And then go to sorting layers. Then create new ones. Create a background. A character one. And then a foreground. After, just go to your Sunnyland, artwork, environment. Now here you will have your blocks that you will use to build your scene. So you have to slice them so you can use one by one. So to do that, you select this one, tile set, and then back. So to select two, you have to click Control, hold Control, and then you can choose both. So, and then you change this to multiple, and then to this one to, and then pixels per unit you choose 16. And then after it's already point, so you didn't change anything. Apply. Now you have to cut them. To do that, you just only have to select the image and then press sprite editor to open this. You go here, instead of automatic, just grid by cell size. You put 16, the number you used that time, and then you slice. Now you can see that it's divided. And then you apply. And then you also have to do for the background. So just sprite editor and then 16, slice, and then apply. It's very simple. Now you already have it, so you can start creating a background. Just go here, plus, and then create a 2D object, a tile map. Make a grid. So it can be a reference to your work. So change the name to foreground so it's easier to understand and will be less confusing. So now just go to Window, 2D, create a tile palette, choose a name, I'm gonna choose palette 1, create, and then just create one, select folder, and then just drag this in. Just select folder. So after you have this, you can just press the brush and use the block you want. Choose the block, and you can start drawing your scene. If you miss anything, misclick, you can just press the eraser and then select what you want to delete. So you also need to protect your background. You cannot just simply just do this because it's gonna overlap the other blocks. So to do it, just have to create a new one, a new tile map. I'll create it, name the background. So to do it, you have to put the sorting layer here to background, and then also have to change the foreground to foreground. So now you can just change the background and then select what you want to draw, and then it's not gonna overlap anymore. So it's pretty simple. So now that you have made the scene, you have to create colliders. What are colliders? Colliders are components that define the shape of your game. So if you don't put colliders, the character is gonna fall off of this. So you have to create a shape so it doesn't fall off. So to create a collider, you just go some foreground or background, add components, and then search collider. So the one I will be using is the edge ones. It's because it's easier to shape what you want. So now you have it, you have to press this here so you can edit it. So as you can see, it's this green line. So now that we made a scene, we just have to create a character. So to create a character, just go here, plus this plus sign, create a 2D object, a sprite. I'm going to rename it to character. So now we just have to find our character. Just press character and then this sign, move tool, and then drag this out of the scene so you can see your character. So you have to change the sprite. Just choose wherever you want. Just idle. Find the play idle and then select it. So you can see it's very small. So now if you want to resize your character, because if it's so small, you just press this tool and then resize it wherever you want. And then if you want to drag it into your scene, as you can see, it's gonna be behind something, the house. So to change that, just go to layers, edit layers, and then put character to the last one. So now let's try if it changed anything. So now it's in front of it, so it worked. So now that you have it, you have to create a rigid body for your character. So what does the rigid body do? So the rigid body makes like your body have physics. So you have to create a rigid body and then create a collider. Because if you don't create a collider, I'm gonna show you, your character is just gonna fall off. So if you create a collider now, you can change that. So let's create a collider real quick. So have our collider, let's resize it. So now let's try. So now it's not falling off as it's supposed to be. So now that we put our character and the rigid body, we can start creating scripts. So to create a script is very simple. Go to character, add component, script. The script is just character and create it. So in Unity, the language we use is C#. I'm gonna open it. I want to show you how it looks. So first of all, we have to create a public class. A public. So public. We have to connect it to the rigid body we use. It's the character. So rigid body. 2D. I can name it wherever you want. I'm just gonna name it character body. And we have to end it with this. So we have to create a private float. What is a private float? The float means numeric, so it has to do with numbers. Just limit what you want, direction. So we also have to create a public float. Velocity, so we can control the speed of your character. difference between public and private is that the public you can edit here, so it show up here, and private you can only change on the scripts. So now you can see that it's showing up right now here, the public classes, character body and velocity. So we have to drag the character into the rigid body so it can control it. So now I have to make some changes so the character can move. So the first goes direction equals to input. So what is the input? The input is the key you press to make your character move. That's the information. It's horizontal because it's moving to the right and the left. So each time you press left, it's gonna do -1, so it will move to the left. And each time you press the right key, it's gonna move to the right side, +1 to your axis. So after that, you have to choose the character body. So character body point velocity. So you can choose the speed equals to new vector. So what is new vector? New vector 2. So new vector 2 is like x and y. So direction times velocity comma the character body point velocity dot y. So we have to put these things so the code works, because if you don't put them, it doesn't work. So now we'll test the code. So save it, and then let's try. So we choose the speed to 5. Choose the speed 5. We can also put 10. So let's try it out. So you can see it's moving. It's working. So if you change this to like 100, it's gonna move very fast. So see, it's moving very fast. So now we're gonna do the jumping script. So just go to script and create a public float. That means numeric. So for the jumping strength, we just name it jump strength. So now the code is, if input, you press the key down, KeyCode.Space. This means if the character presses the space key. So we have to do another code, character body point velocity equals to vector 2, that means x and y, point up times jump strength. So this is going to mean that it's going to change the velocity on y. So let's try the script, save. So jumping strength, let's put 10 to test. Okay. So you can see it's working. See, it's jumping. So we did the jumping part. So now you can see that the character it's taking too long to fall off, so we have to go to our character and rigid body. We can change the gravity scale. You can choose a number that fits your gravity. So I'm gonna try the gravity free. So as you can see, it's good. So it's not taking that much to fall off. Now we will be working on the animations. So first of all, we're gonna create a folder named animations. And now we go to our Sunnyland, artwork, sprites, our player animations. So just select them all, Control A, then drag them in and name it. And go to the assets, animations, and then create the animation. I'm just gonna name it climb. Save it. So we're gonna do this for every single one. Drag them in. After doing this process, you can delete every single one here because you don't need them. Delete them because they're gonna be saved in animations, so no need to worry. So currently we'll be changing our script to make it when you press the right arrow or the left arrow, it's gonna rotate your character. So to do that, go to your script and create a private bool. You can name it wherever you want. So what does a private bool does? So the private bool, it's something that has two values, so 0 and 1 or true or false. So name it wherever you want. Looking. So now go to your void updates. Direction more than 0. Direction. Now you open the brackets. So lookingRight equals to lookingRight transform rotates 0 f 180 f then 0f. So what this means that your character is going to rotate when you pressing the right arrow and the left arrow. So let's try it on our game. So save it. So you can see that when I press the right arrows, he's rotating to the right side, and then we press the left arrow, it's gonna move to the left side. So this is working. Now the only thing you have to do now is to control our animation. So when you're jumping, it's gonna jump. When you're idles, he's gonna be idle. So afterwards, you have to go to your animation. So to go to your animation, you can do it by two ways. One is pressing Control 6. The other one is you have to go to Window, Animation, and press it. So you have to select your character and then add a clip name it put once, jump one. So now go into your assets, put your Sunnyland, artwork, sprites, player, and then jump. So drag this in the first second, 0, 0, and then record it. And you can see that the animator is going to be here. So we also have to do the fall when he falls off. So name it fall 1, save it, record it, turn this in and record it, and then it will show up here. We also will be doing this with the idle. So create a new clip, idle. So drag them in. And record it. So we'll have to wait 5 seconds. Okay, now it's gonna be here, idle. So if you go to your game, the character is going to be on the jumping position. So to change that, go to your animator and then set as default state. So go back now, and you can see his idle state, but you can see it's too fast. You can change that. Go here and then to the speed, you can change it. It's better, but it's still too fast. So 0, 5 maybe. Now it's kind of slow, so 0.1. So you can see the speeds. It's better. Okay. So now we're gonna do the running animation. So create a new clip, run one, replay. Say yes, and then drag this in, and then record it. So now go to your animator. So you have to make a transition between them. So just press here and make transition. Create a parameter. So press the plus sign, create a float because it has to do with speed. So name it whatever you want, name it speed, and then you have to press on this transition. So press it. So the conditions is empty. So to make your idle change to run, you have to change the speed. The speed has to be greater than 0. 0. 0.001. And change the number. Then go to settings and make it 0. And then, so that means the animation is gonna change in an instant. So you also have to make it back to idle because when you stop, so just create a transition, make it back. So you have to create another one. So go to conditions and create step. The speed has to be less than 0.001. So when you go to the game, so you can see that it's not working. So that means why it's not working. It's because you only did that in the animator. So you have to change the script of your character. So go to script, to your character script, and you have to create a public animator. So go here, public animator. You can name it whatever you want, so name it animator. So now I have to go to your VOD updates and create a new code. So go here and then write this code, animator, point SetFloat, open. You have to put the same name you chose, so mine is speed. So direction, direction, you also have to put math, ABS. ABS means absolute value. So you have to open the brackets, close it. So let's try the code. Save it. So why is it working? So you have to go to your character, and then it's gonna be animator. You have to drag your animator in, so it's gonna be the character. So drag your character in to the animator. So now you can see it's working, but it's too fast. So you have to change the speed. So go back to your animator, and then go to your run speed 0.1. Let's try it. So you can see it's working, the animation. Next, we'll make some changes to our script. So go to character script, go to VOD update, and write this code: animator.SetFloat. The parameter that you named, so mine is height, comma, our rigid body, so mine is named character body, so character body dot velocity dot y, and then we close it. So let's start the code, save the code, and then let's try. So you can see the code is working. So he's jumping and falling, so it's working. So there are some problems in the jumping part. When you run, it's not working, so I have to go to our animator, run. So the jump, the height has to be greater than 0. I also have to change this number so we can make it better. So put it 1. So let's try it again. Let's try if it's working. So you can see that it's working pretty well. Right, again. Now we teach you how to make the game follow your character. So to do that, you have to download the external components made by Unity. Just go to Window, Package Manager, and then search for Cinemachine in the search bar, and then download it. After download it, just go to your Cinemachine here and create a virtual camera. And now you have it. So you have to drag your character, what you want to follow, into this bracket. So I will change some things to make it look better. So I will change it to 6, and then go to body. I'm gonna change it to framing transposer, so that can select the area, so you can choose the camera. And look ahead time and put 0.6, the time like when you see ahead. Imagine if you're here, you can see it here. So ignore here and then put 0.17 here, 0.65 here, and then 0.3 here. So I tried these numbers before because it looked. You can see that the camera is following our character, and then when we go backwards, still following, so our camera is working. Now we will learn how to make platforms that your character can move on. So first of all, we have to use the design created by the creator of Sunnyland. So go to Sunnyland, artwork, environments, props, and find the platform. I will be using this one. So drag this into your scene, then use the scale tool, and then change the scale, make it bigger to combine with your scene. So we also have to change the layer to foreground. So now we'll move it to somewhere we want. So I moved it here because I wanted it to move here. So we also have to create reference points. So to create reference points, we have to go here and then create empty. You can choose a color for the reference point. I'm going to choose blue, and then name it reference A. For your platform, you have to create a rigid body, 2D, changes to kinematic, and also have to create a collider, a box collider 2D. So now you have your platform. So now we'll be creating our script. But before that, you have to put the reference points in the places we want the platform to move. So I'll put it here. My first reference, A, and then B I put here. So the platform goes from here, reference A, to reference B. So now we'll make the script. So create a script, new script, name it platform movement, create an add, so let's put it into script and then open it. First of all, we have to create a public float. Public float, you can name it wherever you want. Public float is numeric, so this public float is going to be the speed of your platform to move from reference point A to B. So equals 3F. We also have to create a private bool. So the private bool is something that has two values. It can be true or false, or 1 or 2. Bool move right equals to true. We also have to create two public transform for the reference A. is A. I also have to create one for reference B, so let's copy paste. Reference B. Now go to your void update and write this code. If transform dot position, so that means if the reference point changes, transforms something, dot x, the reference point A, which is position, dot x. So move right equals true, our variable. If transform position x is lower than reference point B, it's higher, my bad, sorry. But position x is A. So if move right equals to false, if move right, our variable, transforms, so transform position equals to new vector, so x and y. So transform dot position dot x plus speed. So if it's moving right, it's gonna change the speed, transform the position, plus speed times time delta transform. So what time delta does is that it's equal to all the computers. Imagine if you have a faster computer, it's gonna be the same as a slower computer. Transform position. Y. Else, if it's different, transform. Okay, copy paste. Almost the same thing. So this is x, and after comma it's the y. So can copy paste the same thing. The only thing which changes the sign. So instead of plus, it's a minus. And now let's go to our code to see if it's working or not. So close it. So let's try if the script is working well. So let's hit play. So you can see that platform is moving from the reference points A and B. So now let's try to go on top of it. See if it fall off or it's working. So you can see that it's working pretty well. And this is how you do a platform. In this step, we're gonna focus in how to pick up a coin and create an item that your character can pick up and the score. So first of all, you have to go to Sunnyland. You have to find the artwork for it. So artwork, it's bright. So items. So here you have the gem. So I have to copy paste it. Control A and drag this into your work. So they already know it's animation because I selected more than one, so you can name it gems. So you can also create a folder, so create an empty and then rename it to gems, and then you drag these gems into your gem. As you can see, the gems behind the scene, so you have to change the sorting layer. So go to your sorting layer and add a new one. I'm going to name it gems, and you have to make before the character. So now go back to your gem and then change the sorting layer to gems, and it will show up. You also have to add a component named collider so that your gem doesn't fall off the map. You can see the gems here. So you can copy paste and spam it. So you can have a lot of them. So I'll make one here. I'll make one here. And the last one will be on the platform. Now that we have done the sprite, gem sprite, we have to create a script so that that character can pick up the coins. So with your character, add a new script. I'm going to name it gem picker, and I will drag this into the scripts and open it. So you can delete everything here, so you don't need anything. So first thing you have to create is a private float. Name wherever you want to name it gem equals to 0. I have to create a private void. So what's a private void? Private void is something that is used to declare a method that does not return a value. So private void on trigger, enter 2D, collider 2D, other. So that means if the character collides with another collider, something's gonna happen. So if other transform tag equals jump. So you have to remember these names because you will use it to create a tag. So you have to open another pair and destroy. Other game objects. Close it. So what this basically means is that if your character touches the gems, it's gonna disappear. So let's save the code. So go to your gem. There was a mistype, so it's transformed as missing. So I'll save it. And now we have to go to gems. You have to create a tag. So this very simple. Let's go add tag and create one. I already have one, so I'm gonna use it. So you also have to put your collider is trigger. I have to also do the same thing on the other ones. So this trigger is already done. One is already done. So now I'm gonna play the game. that gem disappeared, so the code is working. So to do a score system, first you have to create a canvas. The canvas is the area that has all user interface, also known as UI elements, should be inside. So go to plus and create a canvas. So now we have a canvas, we have to create it empty. You can name it whatever you want. We'll name it to gems. And now have to create a UI, a text mesh pro. This is where the text is gonna show up. So here on the right side, you can see that you can change the text. So I'm gonna put it 0 because it's gonna be the score. So each time you pick up a gem, it's gonna add a number. So it starts from 0. So you can change the settings. You can change the colors. You can go here and change the colors to gradients. So it has multiple colors. If you open it, you can see that you can choose the colors to pick up from. Make it red and orange. So you can see the text is here. So now we just have to drag this somewhere so it shows up on the scene. So before making more changes on the canvas text mesh pro, we go into the script and then change the code. So first of all, I have to import the text mesh pro. So using tm pro, close it, and then write this code. I have to create a public reference so you can connect your character to the gems and the public mesh pro. So text mesh pro UI. So text gems. Gems is our variable. So gems. Close it, and then go here and write this code gem plus plus. So what this is gonna do is that every time you touch a coin, the number is gonna change. So I also have to write this code text gems dot text equals to gem dot toString. What it's gonna do is gonna connect the text gem to the string. So now let's go back to our game, make other changes on the text mesh pro. So first you have to drag your text mesh pro into your script. So drag this in, and if you want to change the placement of your score, you just have to go to your gems and then change the position. You can drag, or you can just put the coordinates. I already tried this one, so negative 500 and 100. This worked pretty well with mine. So you can see that's in the top corner, and then each time you pick up a coin, it's gonna change. You can also, if you want to make it look better, you can add the image to complement your score. So just have to go to gems and create a UI, an image. I'm going to name it gem image, so it doesn't confuse anyone. So now the source image, you can just go to your environments, artwork, sprites, items, gem, and then you can just drag this image in. So I'm gonna drag this one in, so you can see that it's showing up here. And you have to change resize and change the placement. bit, maybe close to the point, the numbers. So you can see that now it looks better than before. So now let's learn how to create enemy AI. So you can create this the same as a platform. Just go to artwork and add what you want. I'm going to add a sprite, so I'm creating to the object a sprite. I will choose the sprite. I'll use the possum, so this one. I want to rename it to enemy. You have to create a rigid body, 2D. You have to create a collider, 2D. So let's change the sorting layer to character. Let's change the scale. So we can do this as the same way that we did the platform. So create a script for your character. So you can just copy paste what you did for the platform. So you can just open the platform and then copy paste this. And you can change this one to just speed. Don't forget to close it. And reference points, which you use new ones. So I can copy paste this one to void update, copy paste in. So because you changed this one, the public transform reference, you also will have to change this one. So change it to 1, and this one to 2, and if everything is closed, and then save it. Now we can create the reference points. So create 2 empties. This one I will name it reference B 2. Choose a color so it's easier to see. I'll drag this where the position I want it to move. So go to your enemy, wait for it to load. Speed. Now have to drag your reference points in. So reference 1, reference B. Speed, choose wherever you want. So 2. So you can see the character is moving. If you want to create animations, just add component animator. Okay, so now just go to your artwork, FX, enemies, the opposite, and then select all of them, drag them into it. So it creates a new animation. So opossum animation. Save it. Now you can drag the opossum 1 into controller. Or you can just select this. So now let's hit play. So you can see the opossum is moving. So this is basically my personal project to the game development. I will leave some links on the description and all my scripts. So if yours not working, you can take a look at my scripts. And if you have any doubts, you can leave it in the comments. They will be opened. Now we'll try to answer all of your questions.